Well, it's October 2017, October 1st, and the major threat from these giant Asian hornets on the bees has been neutralized. So the bees are okay. What I did, here you got some onions that from seed that I started, and some of these are some carrots. And here's a lemon tree, actually, from seed. So what I did was I got this it's like some kind of a sticky plate for to catch mice in the house. And what you do is you catch one of these hornets, and then you stick it on that plate, and then it's gonna send out this help me type smell. I need your help to these other hornets, and the signal, the other hornets are gonna come on there and try to help their buddy, and then also get stuck. So it's pretty cool. This is looking pretty nice how I've fixed all this up. But yeah, looks like the bees are going to be alright. Here's a pile of compost that I've constructed. So yeah, looks like this system is working pretty good here. Bees are gonna make it. Everything's good to go. So in 1 month, when the coast is clear, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for honey reserves. Make sure everybody's good with honey for the winter. The blueberry patch looking pretty good. These guys did really good this year. Got some raspberries going over there. Take you into the greenhouse. Had a really awesome grape harvest. Got a few more, man. Just just too many to eat all the time. Some of them went bad, and then this tomato kind of blew up in here. Some fig, got a few more grapes here. Real sweet. Here's a nice cluster. Got a few more clusters. But pretty awesome. Pawpaws did really, really well this year. Now here I got some some radishes from seed, and some green onions, and then some broccolis mixed in. Diversity is the key. When you really diversify the plants, they're gonna really improve the soil rather than robbing from the soil. Now here is just, I've been getting a massive harvest of peppers this year. This soil is really looking good. Tomatoes winding down, but still getting some harvest. Blueberry did badass. I got kilograms of blueberries. Here we got some. This is that hugel mound. A few tomatoes still in there. And this thing has been really doing good. Figs. Here's a couple figs. It's pretty good size, baseball size figs there. And here's a citrus tree. So I got some fruits. And everything's doing really well, man. And these pawpaw trees, there's one left on there, probably a few. If I look around through here, but I had an amazing harvest of pawpaws this year, fruits. I mean, I gave a lot away because just too many to eat by myself. Here's a fall. Those are some sweet raspberries right there. Nice. Pawpaw's harvest was really quite incredible. I had a huge harvest from this tree here, and this thing is really doing well. It's suckering like mad, but you know. Okay. And then here you got some citrus growing. Nashi trees, pear trees. This lemon tree is really doing great. Look at all the new growth on there coming out. I mulched it with a bunch of weeds and stuff to get some nutrition down in the roots. Now here's something that I realized is that after the tree fruits, then it's gonna do this huge, massive veggie growth. And look at that thing. It's huge. It's just like 12 feet tall now, this cherry tree. So what the deal here is, you let it grow out, you let it blast out like this, and you get all this vegetative growth. All these leaves are going to pump all this nutrition from the sun down into the roots to be stored for the winter time. And then after that, in the winter, you prune it. And then you have extra stores of nutrition and energy in the root system for a now smaller tree. So you're going to have basically a blast out of fruits. Because, you know, the trees are going to be like, man, I got all this extra energy. What am I going to do with it? Now that I'm half the size as I was, you know, I prepared all this energy for next year to grow at this size. Then you prune it, you reduce the size, then it has all this extra energy. What's it going to do with extra energy? It's going to make fruits. It's going to fruit. It's going to blast stuff with fruit. So, kind of interesting there. And I want to show you real quick my soil experimentation that I've been doing with the soil is really working. So what here, look at this soil here. Look at that. It's deep too, you know. It's about a foot deep. And this was all mountain clay. And 2 years, now you got some really good soil here. Look at that. This is some good stuff. This is some gold. And over here too, look at this. Now what did I do? Yes, that's the question. What did I do? Here we got some really good stuff. Look at that. Look at how it breaks apart. This is the farmer's gold, is the soil. So what I did was clover, weeds. You let it all grow. You let the weeds grow all over it. But a lot of farmers, they're going to hate weeds. They're going to, you know, tear their weeds up. You don't want to do that. You want, in the fallow section, like over there, you want the weeds to grow everywhere. And you want a diversity of weeds. And all those weeds are going to really, really do all this chemistry into the soil, break things up, and you're going to end up getting a really excellent soil here. I mean, look at this. This thing here is really loaded up with peppers. And it's a small little, little plant, little pepper plant. But this soil is so good. This is some real good stuff. So that's the key. Let the weeds grow. Let the weeds take over. And then in the fall, load it up again with some cow manure and stuff. Just keep building it. You're gonna end up with beds after a few years. You start out with clay mountain soil, and after a few years you're gonna end up with 2 foot of black soil. And also I added sand because we have a real heavy rainy season. It's very rainy. Too much rain is no good, because that soil is going to get waterlogged, and then there's not any oxygen to the roots, so you're not going to have any flower. Oxygen is key for flower development, and with no flowers, no fruits. And I'm talking about peppers and tomatoes; those are fruits. So you want to mix in sand into the soil to get a good drainage of this, water. If you're in a real rainy climate, drainage is very important. Okay, so that's the key there. Sand, manure, compost, and just let the weeds grow on it, and have a nice diversity of weeds. That's the key, is diversity of weeds. If you have just one weed, that's not good. And then also clover. So what I did here was I had a whole bed. See all this clover, and the bees were coming and eating getting the good food. Okay, so see this clover here? And you got a bunch of different stuff growing in here. You got weeds, you got some strawberries, you got everything kind of mixed in growing. And under the soil is probably about a foot of really good, really good stuff. So I'm going to let this clover go. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to, in the spring, I'm going to dig it all up, and we're going to have a really good soil there. So, this hugel mound here, packed out with weeds. What the hell's going on? Oh my God, this is terrible. No, this is great. You're having I'm going to weed all this out in the winter, and this system is going to be stocked. So this is very good. It looks crazy, it looks terrible, but it's very good for next year, because now you're going to have a breakdown of all that carbon, all those woody material that was in this pile, in this hugel mound. You're going to have a breakdown from all these weed roots digging through that. And you're going to have a lot of chemistry going on. And you're going to have a really good harvest next year, and then the next year, and the next. It's an investment. It's not just an immediate thing where you're going to have excellent soil after 1 year. It takes some time. So be patient, and then just keep building on the soil. Look at this. Look at that. You got everything living in here. You got little snails, you got worms. I mean, this is a very excellent micro habitat. Look at this soil here. You got weeds in here. You got roots. And actually from here I harvested a bunch of peanuts that were really delicious. Here's some. A couple peanuts that I missed. I mean, I dig through here and there's probably a bunch of peanuts, Here's one. So anyways, that's what I've been doing.